Yep, that's me. And I'm sure if you play Escape from Tarkov, you've probably made this face yourself a few times. Hey everyone, Lazarus here. Today I'd like to do a video covering the AI in Escape from Tarkov and some of the things that I've learned that have made me more successful at engaging scavs. I've noticed that there are a lot of simple mistakes that people make when engaging scavs, and I'd like to cover some of the things that you can do when you come up against these drunken AI murder bots to hopefully increase your chance at extracting with that valuable loot. Alright, first things first. Scavs are literal aimbots, so we don't want to approach them like we would approach fighting traditional players. Typically in a shooting game, when you fight a player, you peek trying to expose as little of your body as possible so you can make it that much more difficult for your opponent to hit a shot. We want to do the opposite against scavs, however. Since scavs are AI, they're literal aimbots, you want to expose as much of your body as possible when you peek them. The thought process here being that the more hitboxes you expose to the aimbot, the more potential places it has to aim. If you only peek scavs by exposing your head, the aimbot only has one hitbox to target, your head hitbox. That's the one it's gonna target, and you can enjoy your buckshot sandwich. Let's talk a little bit about how scav aggro works in general. Scavs will aggro players in their field of view. Once they aggro players, they will typically, but not always, let off a voice command letting you know that they have spotted you and are about to open fire. This is your cue to take cover and reposition. This is not the time to try and fight back. Once you've taken cover and have an idea of where the scav is, there are a few things to be aware of. Once a scav has aggro on a player, they typically soft lock onto the player and will shoot them even through soft cover such as bushes and trees. If you hide behind hard cover, they will hold their crosshair on the last location you went behind. You can reset their aggro by waiting for a small time. But the safer and generally more effective method is usually to reposition and peek them from a different angle altogether. Since we know that scavs will hold the last known angle that they saw us at, we can use wide flanks and catch the AI off guard to make for easy kills. Sometimes when a scav aggroes you, they will begin to move towards you to try and get a shot on you. If this happens, it can make for some of the easiest kills you will get against scavs. Once the scav aggroes you and lets off the voice command, we're going to do the same thing that we always do. Take cover. Once you're in cover and you hear the scav walking towards you, you can simply hold the angle with your crosshair at head height and wait for your loot delivery as the scav slowly rounds the corner for you. One final thing I'd like to touch on is using grenades against the AI. If you throw a grenade and there are scavs in the area, they will react with a voice command and generally try and reposition. We can use this to our advantage in a couple of ways. I like to use grenades almost like echolocation. I throw them out and see if any scavs react with a voice line. If they do, then I know where they're at and how many are in the area. You can also use them indoors to flush out scavs. You don't even need to land the grenade in the room that the scav is in. You can just throw the grenade in the general vicinity and wait for the scavs to do their voice command and then run and reposition. They'll typically reposition and run right into your crosshair or even die to the grenade while trying to run away. Oh, and that happens too. Alrighty, well that pretty much sums up the tips I have for fighting scavs and Escape from Tarkov. To quickly go over and summarize those again, when engaging scavs, we want to make sure that we don't head peek them and we don't lean peek them. Instead, we want to engage them by fully peeking and exposing as much of our body as possible. When we do get aggroed by a scav, we want to take cover and reposition. We don't want to re-peek the same angle. We want to try and flank them as often as possible. And last but not least, grenades can be a great tool in finding out where scavs are at and flushing them out of their positions. I hope that these tips help you in your engagement with scavs and Escape from Tarkov and make you a more successful player. If they did, please consider liking the video down below and subscribing to the channel for more content like this in the future. Thanks for watching.